Alright, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and a very good morning to all of you. So, Alhamdulillah, we are at the end of the topic for IMD213, which is the standard use in organizing information. Okay, so we already covered 11 topics on IMD213. So, this is the last topic. Alright, so for the week 12, we are going to look at on the standard use in organizing information. Okay, so for this chapter, we are going to look at on the ISBD, mark and also metadata. So why we need one standard? Okay, because we want to emphasize for the organization of information, emphasize on standard for a few purposes. Alright, so this is the reason why we want standard in the uh, organization of information. Okay, because we want to prevent duplication of work. So when we do have a standardized for all materials that we have, we know that we can trace. Okay, if we do have two different two same items, okay, for example, so from there we can detect, all right, the duplication of work. And then we allow library to better share bibliographic resources, definitely. Okay, when you have the same item, okay, that you bought for the particular library, so another library can also copy the bibliographic resources or the bibliographic information from your library. So the process of sharing become more effective. And then enable library to acquire cataloging data that is predictable and reliable. Okay, we can predict, and also it's reliable to the other user. Alright, and then enable library to make use of commercially available library automation system to manage library operation. Okay, we can just choose which type of library automation system that we are going to use, and then after that for the content we can find out, okay, if other library already have that particular items or that particular material, so that we can just copy, compared to if we do have our own system. So only us can use that kind of system. Okay, only us can use the content of the system, but we cannot share with others, for example. Okay, if we make it restricted to ourselves. Okay, and then allow library to replace one system with another. Okay, it's much better because there is a demand. Okay, demand towards that system, so that if you want to upgrade system, the previous system to the new one, is become more easier because everybody have the same intention. So it's quite easy for the vendor, all right, to study the previous one and then come out with the new one, so that you can give good features of the new system itself. Okay, so we look at on the ISBD, International Standard Bibliographic Description. Okay, so ISBD is arose out of a resolution of the International Meeting of Cataloging Experts organized by IFLA, Committee on Cataloging at Copenhagen in 1969, that is a standardization of the form and content of bibliographic description be established. So the name of group of standard officially cited as ISBD, developed to standardize to as much as possible the descriptive portion of catalog and bibliographical records produced in different countries, prescribe the element constituting the description, their order and the function between them. So primary purposes to provide the stipulation for compatible descriptive cataloging worldwide in order to aid the international exchange of bibliographic records. Okay, this is the most important part. Okay, why we do have ISBD, because we want to do the international exchange. Okay, among us, okay, for the purposes of bibliographic records between national bibliographic agencies and throughout the international library and information committee, okay, all around the world actually. So for ISBD is designed to facilitate the international exchange of cataloging records by specifying the elements which comprise a bibliographic description. Okay, so standardize the element to be used in the description, so we know, all right, what kind of information that should be added and what's not, all right. And then prescribing the order in which those elements should be presented, assigning an order to the element in ISBD. So experts are being sitting right, in 1969. So they already come up with that kind of standard, so we just can just follow that kind of standard, right? And then the foundation by which they should be drawn, specifying a system of symbols to be used in punctuating the elements. So we know how we are going to separate between one element to another, what kind of punctuation that we can use, okay, for that particular items. So their aims to standardize a bibliographic record for its content and information style, okay, make it different, right? Source interchangeable, so that record produced in one country can be easily accepted in library catalog or other bibliographic lists in any other country, as I mentioned before. And then to simplify, the aim is to simplify an introduction of data records element without concerning the language of the materials. Okay, so it is in the interpretation of record across language barrier. So there is no issue if they come with the different language, all right, from the different country. Definitely the beauty of language itself, okay, we do have a variety of language all over the world. So even though we don't understand that kind of language, but we know that that particular item is belong to what. So this one we know this is for title, this is for the name of author, for example, okay. And then so that record produced for the user of one language can be interpreted by user of other language, and to prepare a manipulation of bibliographic data in computer application. So this is the way of assist in the conversion of bibliographic record to the electronic. So there are 8 types of ISBD. Okay, types for G, general, international, standard bibliographic description. A for older monograph, which is antiquarian. CM for cartographic materials. S for serial. PM for printed materials. CF for computer files. M for the monographic publication, and NBM is for non-book materials. So 8 areas or elements of ISBD. This one you should actually memorize, okay, because next semester you are going to use this 8 area in the cataloging record. So you should memorize it first, from starting from now, so that next semester is got much more easier for you to understood, all right, to understand about cataloging records. All right, so we do have 8 areas. Area 1 is title and statement of responsibility, which is title proper assigned to the information package by person responsible for its existence, name of individual or corporate body. So at this area they do have 2 elements, either for individual and also for the corporate body. So how we are going to interpret it in the catalog records, so that's why you have to understand, or you have to memorize on this 8 element. Okay, easy for you to allocate okay, which part should be for the title and statement of responsibility. And then area 2, okay, this is a statement about the version of the information package, okay, edition. So either this is the first edition, second edition, third edition, so we should determine it. All right, so we know the version of the material itself is belong to which edition, which particular uh, which particular areas, or which particular continuous data itself or information itself, okay. And then area 3 is a material or types of publication specific details. This is about the data particular types of information package, okay, what are the information that have been given for the catalog records. And also area 4, publication, distribution, etc., which is the name of the entity that is responsible for the presentation and packaging of the information package. Normally it belongs to the publisher and place of publication. Okay, for the area 5 is a physical description. So any physical description of an information package that is intangible form, which is you can see the material itself. So what kind of information that you should use to describe that kind of information? For example, that book. Okay, how many page for the preliminary page, for example, and then how many if they do have a color illustration. Okay, and then the head of the material itself. Okay, and then area 6 is a series. There is, if there is maybe any series of information package, okay, so we consider it as a part of the catalog. And then area 7 is note, added information to the description to provide useful information. Okay, if there is information that we should actually uh, good to highlight. Okay, and then area 8 is a standard numbers and term of availability. Okay, so the numbers that recorded in the area are internationally agreed that it is a standard number, whether it is ISBN, ISSN. For sounds recording might be the publisher numbers and so on. So for the outline for a monograph, okay, this is the outline for the monograph. What are the things that we should put in the catalog record? This one is actually, okay, that has been mentioned before. This is the statement of responsibility. Okay, and then each subsequent statement of responsibility, if you do have, maybe for the first statement of responsibility is author, and then each subsequent responsibility might be that materials do have a editor, ataupun might be they do have illustrator. Okay, and then each statement slash statement of responsibility relating to the edition. Okay, normally this part we don't have it normally lah. Okay, but might be in future we found out that there is a materials that there is a person who responsible for the edition area, so we should put it here. And then place of publication, publisher, date of publication, pagination. Okay, how many page that you have, and you have illustration or dimension, plus is accompanying materials. Okay, if that material come with another material, for example books, at the end of the book they do have a slot of CD, so we consider it as a CD itself, we consider as a accompanying materials, and then series and series number, and also not forgotten about the price if they do have. If not, we just left it behind. Enough with the mark record. Okay, we will continue it in another video. Thank you so much.